2.17 onwards. This section is from 17 to 25, where characteristics of the soul is being described by Krishna to Arjuna. Okay. So first Krishna started. I'm just trying to summarize a little so that we will be on the same page, because a few days we do not have class. So Krishna starts his discussion by saying that in 2.12 he says that soul is eternally an individual. Okay. And the identity of the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, that's soul. And Krishna says that soul never take birth. Unborn, 2.21, it will be coming further. That soul does not take birth. Soul is, then further he says in 2.18 that soul is indestructible and eternal. And because first thing is soul is unborn, and second thing is soul is indestructible and eternal. That means soul never dies. Okay. So death doesn't mean for soul, it is for body. Okay. Soul is this point should be clear here, that soul is unborn, it never take birth. It is the only. So what does that mean by birth? Birth means soul has taken a new body. The way I change the old shirt and put on new shirt, similarly soul is taking a new body. That's it. Okay, that's what it explains. So that's what it means, that soul is unborn. Then soul never dies also. That's why Krishna says in 2.18 that, which was the previous verse, that soul is indestructible and eternal. Okay. Antavanta imedeya nitya shokta sharirna anashino aprameyasya tasmad yuddhasva bharata. Then further Krishna says that soul is immeasurable. The size of soul is 1/10,000. So that is like if you take tip of here, you divide it into 1/100, and then again you take one part, and then again you divide it 100, then that is the size of soul. So that's why it's too small. So soul cannot be immeasurable. That's why Prabhupada was writing in the purport that soul, the modern day scientists cannot see the soul because it's too small. They don't have that instrument to see the soul. Okay, and Prabhupada quoted from Shvetashvatara Upanishad also. Then further Krishna says that soul never undergoes any changes. Soul is steady. Okay, so that point will be coming further in this chapter. Okay, so 2.18 we discussed, and now today's verse is 2.19. So previous few verses summary I have explained you. Now 2.19 onwards. Yam enam veti hantaram yasyenam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. Very nice. Neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who think it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. So previous translation also I will read so that we can connect. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable and eternal living entity is sure to come an end. Therefore fight, O descendant of Bharata. What Krishna is saying that, this material body of the indestructible. So this material body belongs to whom? To that indestructible. What is that? That is soul. So this body belongs to soul. So the soul is indestructible, means soul will never will be destroyed. Soul will always exist eternally. Okay. So what is indestructible? That is soul, and to that soul, this body belongs. Body belongs to soul. Soul is indestructible. But what about the body? Body is sure to come to an end. It is sure that this body will be finished one day. Today, tomorrow, after 10 years or after 20 years, we don't know. But definitely this body will be finished. Okay. So that's why Krishna is saying to Arjuna that what you are thinking, that you will not fight, because they are your relatives, they are your cousins, they are your uncles, they are your fathers, grandfathers, and like that. So if you don't fight, you can save them. So understand that if you are thinking to save the body of your relatives, then definitely it will be finished. And if you are thinking to save the soul, then anyway soul will not die. So fight. Okay, that's what he is saying. Now next 2.19 is saying, neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain is in knowledge. So a person is thinking that the living entity, that means the soul, the jiva, is finished. Okay, that person is not in knowledge, he is in ignorance. And the person who is thinking that soul is the one who is killing, then also he is not in the knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When an embodied living entity is hurt by fatal weapons, it is to be known that the living entity within the body is not killed. The first line is very important. Prabhupada is saying that the living entity a person is thinking that okay, this person killed this person. Okay, if I think that okay, because of this weapon the soul is died, then that is not right. When an embodied living entity is hurt by fatal weapon, it is to be known that the living entity within the body is not killed. Suppose somebody cut some person, then the soul will not be cut, only it is the body which is cut. So the person whom we were loving, that person is never died, because that is soul, it will never die. The spirit soul is so small that it is impossible to kill him by any material weapon. It is actually, you cannot even see the soul because it's too small, that how you can cut it. Because if you want to cut something, first you should have the ability to see that. So when you cannot see the soul, how you can cut? So that's why the spirit soul is so small that it is impossible to kill him by any material weapon, as will be evident from subsequent verses. Okay. In future verses, this thing will come. Okay. So further Prabhupada is saying, nor is the living entity killable because of his spiritual constitution. And it is not that only I am not able to kill because it's too small. Actually nobody can kill, because it is not killable, means no soul will never be destroyed. It is sanatana, mamevamso jivloka, jivbhuta sanatana. So because of his spiritual constitution, what is that? Soul is eternal, part and parcel of Krishna. So what is killed or is supposed to be killed is the body only. Because then there is a question, if person is not being killed, soul is not being killed, then who is actually being killed? It is the body. This, however, does not at all encourage killing of the body. Wow, very nice. So a person may think, Acha, so anyway person is not killed, only body is killed, so let me kill anybody. So Prabhupada is saying it is not to encourage that unnecessarily you go and kill the people. Why? Because anyway soul is not going to die. Only it is the body which will be killed. So let's kill. Okay, so no, it's not like that. Okay. By taking this shloka, one should not take another meaning that okay, I can go and kill. The Vedic injunction is Ma himshyat sarva bhutani. Never commit violence to anyone. Vedic instruction says Ma himshyat sarva bhutani. For all the living entities. Sarva bhutani. It is not only for Indian. This statement ma means do not. Himshayat, do violence. Sarva bhutani. Very important thing to understand that ma himshayat sarva bhutani, do not do violence for sarva bhutani, for all the living entities. So when it is said sarva bhutani, Indians are included, foreigners are included, Pakistanis are included, Americans are included, Europeans are included, Australian, all the people are included in this sentence. So that's what the Vedic wisdom is. It is for all. It is not for some small group of people. It's not like, it's like global. Okay. And not only global, not only humans, Sarva Bhutani also includes other living entities like dog, cat, chicken, goat, cow, all the living entities. Okay, so do not do violence against any living entities. Now, himsayat, that doesn't mean only killing. So one person may not kill another person only because there is a law and that one has to go to jail. But one will create such an emotional drama or sometimes so cruel words that those words will give him too much pain. Sometimes people say, he should have not said those words to me. He should have killed me, but he should have not said those words to me. You understand? So, any form of violence, it is not only the violence of by killing the person. Okay, it is not only by the killing the person. Okay, it is actually any sorts of violence, any sorts of. Okay, so nor does understand. Now further Prabhupada is saying that nor does understanding that the living entity is not killed encourage animal slaughter. Okay, that's what I said. Sarva Bhutani includes all the living entity. Okay, killing the body of anyone without authority is abominable and is punishable by the law of the state as well as by the law of the Lord. So very important is statement here to be understood. Prabhupada is saying killing the body of anyone without authority. Now authority says and one kills, there is no problem. For example, Indian government is the authority. Indian government says that whoever disturbs the country, whoever transgresses any border problem or any terrorist problem, then Indian army is supposed to kill them. Okay, so that is the authority. So when a Indian soldier goes to the border or to the fight and kills many people who are terrorists, okay, this soldier is given award, medals, his name is written in very golden letters everywhere, news, everybody glorifies him. Oh, such person killed 100 terrorists, these many enemies, like that, right? So they are glorified, they are given medals. But same soldier comes in home in the leave, okay? During his leave he comes at home and he gets a fight with his neighbor. And he thinks, Arey Baba, I killed 100 people in the battle and government gave me medals. So what is the problem if 100 becomes 101? So he kills his neighbor also. then what government will say? Then government will put him in jail. Why? Because he was not authorized to kill his neighbor. So killing with authority is okay. Without the order of authority, killing is not allowed. Okay, so that is why Arjuna is having a best topmost authority. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is saying you kill, so he killed. Okay, so Prabhupada is saying killing without authority, and that's also killing is the body of anyone without authority, is abominable and is punishable. It is offense. Okay, not only by the law of state, but also by the law of the God, Krishna. Arjuna, however, is being engaged in killing for the principle of religion. Okay, Arjuna, however, is being engaged in killing for the principle of religion and not whimsically. So, for what purpose Arjuna is fighting and killing? For the protection of dharma, for because of the order of Krishna. Okay, so that's the point here. Okay, so in this shloka, Krishna is saying that it is not the soul which is being killed. Okay, it is the body only which is being killed or which dies. Okay, in subsequent verses, more details will come how the soul is not killed, or how soul is indestructible, how soul is eternal, existing. Okay, so text number 20 we shall discuss tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you.